John and Jerome from Switchfoot. The other guys are just having a moment to chill. Obviously, these guys are jetting all over the world, so it's great to have them with us. And it's ram-packed in here. Look how many of you there are. This is great. Thank you so much for taking time out to come and join us, especially if you're watching on Facebook and Twitter as well. It's great to have you with us too. I don't even know if that's working right now.
That's where Chad and Tim and Drew are watching.
Yeah, absolutely. So, got lots of questions we'd like to ask you. We might jump to the audience at some point later on. Now, as I was preparing this interview, I was kind of in this dilemma. Let's go right back to the beginning, to that garage in California when you were college students with a dream. What were your hopes and what were your fears all those years ago?
That's good.
Thank you.
Let's go there.
I wrote that question myself.
A lot of good things started in garages in California. The electric guitar started in a garage in California.
Oh, right.
Always.
I think our very first tour, however, was over here.
Really?
Yes,
So,
it was.
We grew up listening
Hilarious.
to all these bands from the UK. I was in a Led Zeppelin cover band.
Really?
And so that was kind of the beginning. And then your voice changes and you can't hit the high notes anymore. And so you have to start writing songs. And here we are. So yeah, it's we've always loved coming over here to the UK. And
We've loved having you.
yeah, so thanks for having us back. I'm glad the passport still works.
So looking back across this sort of 20-year adventure, no doubt there have been moments where things have probably been harder than expected. Were there any moments in your career where you thought to yourself, I just don't know if I've got it in me anymore?
Yeah. I mean, tons.
Yeah.
I think if you're honest with yourself, those moments happen more regularly.
Yeah.
And I think in today's current climate, fear, doubt, disappointment is pretty much a daily thing. You just look at the newspaper, you read about bombings and what happened in Manchester and what's going on all over the world, and there's many logical reasons to give up hope. And so today, as I was walking, I think it was this reminder that hope is not a human institution, that hope is a gift, that hope is God-breathed and God-given. And so for me, I think what our music is an attempt to do is to be a vehicle for that hope. And songs can say things better than words sometimes, so that's what we use our music for.
Well, that leads really nicely on to the next question that I had lined up for you guys, because Switchfoot has always been way more than just music. You are sort of modern day philosophers of a poetic nature, and it's often loads of passion behind what you do. I think I've lost count of the blogs that I've read or the videos that I've watched of you guys addressing important issues. What's really beating on your heart at the moment? What's God been speaking to you about recently?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna give Jerome the mic.
He looks like he's not keen on that idea.
I just wanted to expound on what John was saying. Like, we're a band that tries to find hope in the dark places, trying to make sense of what's going on around the world. I think we're like everyone. We're always questioning where we're at. And as a band, and the things that we want to sing about it, I think at the forefront, we want to make sure that hope is our anthem.
Yeah. Absolutely, brilliant stuff. Do you guys get many stories, many people getting in touch with you saying, because of the songs you've written, this has happened in my life? Do you get many of those?
Yeah, those are absolutely kind of a nightly thing that we get letters and that I'm looking at somebody who's at a show in Amsterdam that I read those every night.
So these guys have already warned me about a cat situation that you're pretty familiar with.
There's a cat situation right here.
Yeah, apparently a cat. Do you want to? You share this.
It's an attack cat.
You told me this earlier, and you'll do a better job than me.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this or what, but in Edinburgh 2 years ago, obviously you were climbing up the rafters and doing your thing, and then you climbed back up and got through the crowd, got up on stage. And then you turned around and went to the audience that you felt like you were a cat stuck up in a tree. And then you grabbed my phone, and ironically, there's a cat on my phone.
Yes. Well, there it is again. There we go. The cat continues.
So this has become its own story now, you see.
Yeah.
This cat has become something of a minor celebrity.
It's on Facebook now.
All because of that one moment.
I mean, the beautiful thing for that, like, when we're playing, I think it's this, I grew up in the church. My dad's a pastor, right? And we're talking about deep substantive things, and yet somehow in a song I can find myself like climbing and doing things that I would never do in real life, somehow where you're like, I just jumped into the crowd and now I'm crowd surfing. Is this real life? Am I doing this? I think the song can go places, and one thing that touches on, you were asking what's been on our mind. I think I'm excited for the idea that I've seen a new, within the body of Christ, this new honesty where we are allowed to talk about our fears at the same time as our hopes, and to be able to bring our entirety to the cross and know that it's not just the good parts of us that need to be saved, but it's all of us, So, and there's something beautiful about embracing humanity, the ups, the downs, the crazy, the sane, all at once. Cat.
I guess being comfortable to be vulnerable with each other.
Comfortable with chaos. I mean, I think chaos is beautiful.
Yeah.
And madness has its own charm,
That's where the light shines through.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, see what I did that?
Reference. Know what I'm doing.
Check that out.
Got that one in the bag, brilliant. So obviously, there's a lot of people who are starting off in bands, people who are wanting to, because this is the thing, this is what's exciting, music can actually change lives. Like the combination, it always blows my mind, the combination of melody and words and rhythm has the potential to turn a life around. So what advice would you give to bands that are starting up? It's probably a question you've been asked hundreds of times, but what advice would you give to people who are just getting off the ground?
We're a band that's been around for a long time, and we've had our ups and downs, but like for an upcoming band, the advice that I would give is that, to enjoy the moment that they're in, whether they're playing in front of 2 people, which we have, or 100 people, it's those moments don't come along, and to really, to love what you're doing, to, just get into the music that you're making.
That's great advice.
Dostoevsky talks about how beauty is a battlefield for God and the devil, right? So when you begin to create art, you're entering onto that field, and I think we dumb it down by talking about success as being some form of monetary income or people showing up to your shows or buying a t-shirt. Success is when you enter into that field and make a difference and begin to tell the truth with whatever your art form is, and I think that's what Rome's talking about is absolutely true. Like, no one else can enjoy life for you. You're the only person who can right here, right now, enjoy this moment. And if you're not enjoying it, it's kind of on you to some extent. There's that, like, we all have pain and hardship, but there is this thing where it's on us to recognize the moment. And it could be in front of 2 people. That could be your best show ever, and the human idea that numbers equal success is not necessarily the way it is.
See, this is why I called you sort of modern day philosophers of a poetic nature. When you're quoting Dostoevsky, there's an element of weight to that. But you hinted at a gig where there was just 2 people, and the curious part of my brain would love to know more about that. Are you right sharing a bit of that story?
I mean, yeah, every band, that's what you do. You slog it out where you're like, all right, well, there's 2 of you. Yeah, I mean, we grew up. I grew up. I love Led Zeppelin and
Yeah.
the Police and the Beatles and U2 and all that. Everyone, I guess, from the UK, pretty much. But it was the bands that I saw were bands that were in our friend's backyard, and it was like you knew everyone that was there. There's 20 people, and 10 of them are up on this stage, right?
A load of books just piled
Yeah,
up.
and you're like, but that was the dream. That was the entirety of the dream.
Yeah.
Was one day we could be the band playing in that backyard.
Wow.
You know, so and those were bands that changed my life that you've never heard of. You know, that Boilermaker. No one's ever heard of that. Yeah, Heavy Vegetable, probably.
Heavy Vegetable.
Yeah.
That's a wicked name for a band.
That's
They're amazing.
brilliant.
They were incredible. Yeah.
Next question: which is the heaviest of all the vegetables? A really important one, though.
Is it eggplant? Are we talking pumpkin? I'm not sure. It's one of the
Pumpkin.
Yeah.
I'd go with that one, definitely. Okay, we'll let you guys crack on in a minute because you've got to get prepared for your set later. But last question: because you've been around for such a long time, I'd be curious to hear who still inspires you musically or more philosophically.
I mean, there's so many incredible people making music these days, and so I think everyone always complains about the music industry. You know, in the music industry, there isn't like the monetary element that's going back to the artist isn't what it was, and you can complain about that. You can complain about the fact that vinyl. Well, I guess vinyl's coming back. You can complain about CDs going away or whatever you want to complain about. But I think I find so much joy in the music that's being made, and it's just this unencumbered connection from somebody who has a computer and a microphone, and they can directly transmit their thoughts to the world. And I love that, from Chance the Rapper to, you know, on down to all these like local artists in even our hometown. This one band they're like 15 and 16-year-old kids, and they give me so much hope for the future.
One of the things, I know I said that was the last question, but there's another one that I really want to ask. Just
You're good at this.
Oh,
You should do this more often. We should hang
John
out
Foreman says I'm good at interviews. That is the highlight of my weekend.
It's great, right?
Well, one of the things I love about you guys, and I think this is a trend that we're seeing a bit more of now, is this understanding actually God has given us creativity and music for us to enjoy. It provokes wonder, it confronts injustice, it can bring comfort, it can point to Christ. All of these things are brilliant, and yet sometimes we sort of box things off. This is Christian music over here. Glorify God, we want to honor God, we want to reach people. So where, as a band, and there's that sort of hope and there's that anticipation, can I bring these people a little bit closer to Christ?
Well, I think the beauty is all music is worthship.
Yeah.
You are investing of yourself in your art, and you're bringing people with you. Whatever you're singing about, it's some form of worthship. And then I think it's the same human soul that you find longing for meaning and truth and purpose and something higher at the pub on Saturday night at 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's, you know, that same hungry human longing for God is there Sunday morning in church, you know. And I don't see, I think we have these delineations between ourselves that I don't know that God sees it like that. I feel like He looks at His children and he has such compassion. He wants to bring not some people to Him, but that all would know Him, you know. And so for me, I usually am more uncomfortable in church, like a pastor's kid would be. And I'm more comfortable just playing rock and roll and seeing who wants to come with.
Wicked. Let's get a round of applause. Do you mind if we get one question from out here?
Yeah, let's bring it.
Okay, alright guys. Excellent stuff.
Every night the set list changes and certain songs, like right before you play it, you're like, I don't want to play that song. I want to play this one instead. You know, so like we did that. Like Amsterdam, the set list was destroyed like fifth song in, and that's the beauty of it. So I don't know what my least favorite is, but I try and stack the deck with my favorites on the set list. You know.
Excellent stuff. Let's give these guys a huge round of applause. And just quickly, you guys are on the main stage at what time, do you know?
6. 6.
These guys knows. 5 to 6, 5:55. So make sure you guys are all there. It's going to be a blinder. I think your new album sounds particularly good in the sunshine, and it's interesting how scenery complements music so well.
Shadow proves the sunshine.
Exactly. Okay, one last round of applause. Thank you so much.